Hello and welcome to the lecture series on railways, harbour, tunneling and airport for the subject code 18 CV 645. Module 1 Session 2 Coordination of all modes and permanent way. So moving on to the table of content. In this session we are going to discuss about coordination of all the modes of transport for achieving the sustainability, history of Indian railways, elements of permanent way and requirements of ideal permanent way and references. Moving on to the concept of coordination of all the mode to achieve the sustainability. So to achieve the sustainability, so we are going to emphasize on of 5 parameters. So namely, first one is the technological area, next is the technical area and economical area, next is organizational area and legal area. So these 5 coordinations are going to be required for all the modes of transport to achieve the sustainability. So we are going to start with technological area. So in this technological area, so we are going to be studying with respect to the concept of organization, scheduling and projecting. So first one, that is organization of an integrated operation system for different modes of transport. So technology is to be applied in the organization to integrate the operation system for different modes. So say for example, as I explained, different modes may be a surface, so in the surface rail and road, or otherwise road, rail or airport or the harbour. So likewise, if you are going to take any different modes, so we are going to be having an integrated approach of operating system. Say for example, suppose a bus is going to be operated from its bus stand to the railway station. So from railway station to a bus stand, so this frequency is so adjusted depending upon the timing of the railway. So this is going to be come under the organization for integrating the modes of transport with respect to operation. Moving on to the next one, developing a schedule of a different modes. So we should have a scheduling. So schedule of individual mode of operation has to be developed. So next is a projecting of an intermodal transport for its convenient for its arrival and departure. So that is the same thing. So we should take care about the peak hour traffic for the arrival. So it may be of a rail or it may be airplane or whatever the thing. So from the city we should have a well connected, well organized operation system and also the projection system to cater the demand and supply. So this will cover in technological area of the coordination. Moving to the next area, that is a technical area. So in this technical area we should have some harmonizing the capacities of processing the ability and cooperation system. Next one is the rolling stock and the container, their sizes and capacity for the effective use of transshipments and also from the point of passenger transfer. Next is a creation of intermodal technical means for communities and the information transfer. So we are going to be applying a different technique to cater the capacity. Say for example, if we are going to be having say 1000 or 2000, so what could be the number of routes we have been operating and number of trips we are going to be making. So depending upon these many passengers, so we should take care about the capacity of processing. So in other words, so we can say it is going to be demand and supply. So that has to be taken into care with respect to capacity building. Next one is going to be the creation of intermodal technical means to communicate and information of a transfer. Say for example, if you are going to be having arrival of a particular rail or a particular bus two particular route has to be announced, so their timing and scheduling, so that is going to be covered in technical areas. Moving on to the next area, that is economical area. So we are talked about technological and technical area. So next is the economy. So we need to identify the demand, that is a current demand and also the future demand, and features of a volume for internal flight by a region based on the market research. It means we should take care about the market research, that is the same thing what I have been explaining in the previous slide. So what could be the demand and what should be the supply. So if it is going to be the demand and supply, so according to our need, so demand and supply curve has to be matched. So that is going to be taken care with respect to identifying the demand for its future volume. So similarly, developing a strategy of a transport sector for the country, its sizes and necessary of a investment. So what could be the investment to be made for each of the project, so are different sectors of a transport from the strategy of operation, so that is also going to be taken care in the economical concept. So next is studying and harmonizing of indicators taking into account of transportation costs. So transportation cost is going to be including so this transportation cost includes cost of construction, okay, and also the maintenance. So it also includes the maintenance part. So also we are going to be having operation cost. So these costs are going to be taken care with respect to the transportation system for the indicator. So depending upon the type of project, so we are going to be taken care the total budgeting for the cost of project has been concerned. Next is the solution of a problem for the development and distribution of production forces. So this is also going to be covered in economical area. Next is organizational area. So for every transport sector we are going to be having an organization. So how well the organization system is having and how well it is going to be the technically and technologically improved. So that is going to be having impact over the sustainability of modes of transport. Under this one, the first one is development of single coherent system for controlling the transport and also the road complexity of the country. Next is the preparation of a regulatory document with regard to safety of operation of transport and the environment. So it means we are going to be having, say, some motor vehicle act, or we are going to be having a road transport. So these organizations are going to be having some regulatory document. So it is going to be providing us with a safety of operation of a transport, and Ministry of Environment is also will going to give the pollution control, that is with respect to environment. Hence we have been having a different organization. So these organizations is going to provide us a regulatory document for the operation of a transport with respect to the safety and environment. Moving on to the next point, organizing the sale of a single ticket for the passenger for several modes of transit. Say for example, if a person want to start his journey from his house to say some other destination, so he has to encounter or he has to use a bus or an auto or any other mode, it may be a metro, to reach his destination. So in a single ticket, if you are going to be having a multimodal transit ticketing, so this is going to be more helpful to avoid the delay and to have a continuous journey. So these are the points we are going to be looking in the organizational area. And last one is the legal area. So as we know that to have a controlling mechanism over the economy, finance, safety or the environment, we should have some legal cells or the issues it is going to be occurring in nature. So to control over that one, we should have some legal issues also. So this legal area we're going to relate the organization with the different types of road and its mode. It is also going to cover the severity of transportation of mainly the cargo and luggages, including the multimodal transportation. It means it is going to give some legalized opinion or the set of document for safer operation from the cargo and also the passenger point of view. So, as we know that all these 5 areas, it may be technological, technical, economical, legal and organizational area, are going to give the coordination for to achieve the sustainability. Sustainability is nothing but to have optimal use of resources with more eco-friendly. Suppose that if you are going to be taken, so it needs to have coordination with respect to all the modes. So, all these 5 are going to be give the same thing with respect to what we say the sustainability concept. So, if you are interested, so we can have a Venn diagram like this. So, each of them are going to be contributing. Say this is going to be technological area, this is technical area, then this is going to be the economics. Okay, so this part may be a legal. Okay, so like this. So we are going to coordinate all the modes with respect to our transport. So these are going to be having a common phenomena of a area. So those are going to be called as coordination. So if all are going to be well coordinated, so we can have a proper and sustainable road network. So this is the thing with respect to coordination of all the modes has been concerned. So moving to the next concept, history of rail transport in India. So till date what we have learnt is just a quick brush up of all the modes of transport, significance, and how we are going to be integrating different modes of transport. So now we are been switching over to the actual concept of railways. So before starting, we should know a very brief history of railways transport in India. So this is going to be date back to 1832. So from 1832 to 1852, it is going to be industrial railway. So we are been much concerned about industries. So that is going to be up to 52. So from 53 onwards, we are been concerned about the passenger rails and their expansions. Next, we started having the concept of electrification for the further expansions. After that one, because of increase in a transport network, so we are going to be having the zones, and we started reorganizing, and we are having the further development for each of the zones with respect to cargo and passenger. So after 1984 and till date, we are been concentrating on rapid transit. It means rapid transit we are been concentrating much. So we started our journey from the locomotive from the industrial concept to that is cargo. So now we have been concentrating passenger for quicker transport and also the later developments. So moving on to the historical rail lengths. So here it is a table we have taken from the Wikipedia. So from year after year, so just look at this 1950 to 1951. So in India we have been having a just a 53,596 kilometer, and running track is 59,315 kilometers, 59,315 kilometers. So likewise, so we have been having a drastic increase. So up to the 2020, we have been having a running track around 99,235 kilometers. So this is how the history of a rail length has been started developing, and still further it is going to be having a well connected network. Hopefully we are going to be having increase in running track kilometers numericals. Next, we have been moving to the word called as the permanent way. So what exactly mean by the permanent way? Permanent way is the combination of rails which are fitted by means of a fastening or the fixtures on the sleeper which is resting on a ballast and subgrade. So just have a glance of the statement. So what we had been made in the permanent way. So we are been having a rails, so the rails are going to be fitted by the fasteners or the fixtures, so which is going to be resting on the sleeper. So this is the sleeper on which these rails are going to be fixed by the fasteners and the fixture. So in turn, this sleeper is resting on the ballast cushion or the ballast, so it is going to be resting on the soil subgrade. So in this figure we are going to be very much clear. So the entire combination of this thing is going to be called as the permanent way. So it includes rails, sleepers, ballast cushion and the subgrade. So this combination is going to be called as permanent way. So in the other image we can clearly see that, so these are going to be called as rails. So these steel structures or I sections we are going to be called as the rails. So next we are been having the sleeper. So these are going to be the sleepers, you can clearly see. So these broken aggregates are going to be called as the ballast. So all these combinations, so here we can see the fixtures or the fastenings. So these are fixtures, it has been fixed from the rail to the sleepers. So this combination is going to be called as the permanent way. So in detail we are going to be studying the elements of permanent way in the subsequent sections. Moving on to the next thing, requirement of ideal permanent way. So in the previous slide I had shown what exactly the permanent way is. So it should have some requirement with respect to idealistic condition has been concerned. The first one, the gauge should be correct and uniform. The gauges what we have been using, it should be correct and uniform. So it means the gauge may be narrow gauge, broad gauge. So in between we are going to be having a meter gauge or standard gauge. So whatever the gauges we have been using it should be uniform and it should be correct. There should not be a kilometer of a narrow gauge, kilometer of a BG, so it is going to be difficult. Hence when we are going to be talk about the ideal permanent way, gauges should be correct and uniform. Then the rail should be in a proper level, and in a straight tack two rails must be at the same level. On curves, outer rail should be have some proper super elevation, and there should be a proper transition at the junction of straight and curve. Say for example, if you are going to be having a sleeper here, so if you are going to be having one rail, okay, so if you are going to be having the other rail like this, there is a difference. So this is going to be causing the irregularity, or it is going to be having a jerks with respect to travel. Hence these two rails should be on the same level. So whenever we are going to be having at the same level, we are going to be having smooth and comfortable journey. If we are going to be having a curve, so always the outer edge, this outer edge should be raised with respect to inner edge, so that whatever the thing we are going to be having, it is to be provided with the super elevation, so that the ordinal movement of rails or the trains are going to be smoother. Next is the alignment should be correct. So proper alignment has to be taken into account. So hence we should have a very correct alignment in order to have the kinks and irregularities. Moving on to the next one, the permanent way should have a gradient. It should be uniformly graded, so there should not be any irregularity with respect to the gradient. Say for example 1 kilometer, if you are going to be providing a certain gradient, so another kilometer is going to be some other gradient, so it is going to be somewhat cumbersome. So hence especially this is going to be useful when we talk about the vertical curves. So gradient should be uniform and it should be maintained. There should not be any abrupt changes with respect to gradient. Moving on to the next one, the track should be resilient. So resilient means there should be amount of resistance or the amount of elasticity, it is going to bound to have it because of repeated loading. So the sleepers has to bounce back, hence the track system should be a resilient. If it is going to be a rigid one, we should have shocks, it is going to be common, and obviously we can have cracks or maybe a failure. Repeated stresses may lead to the failure, hence the track system should have certain amount of elasticity to recover back amount of stresses. Next is the track should have enough lateral strength. So this is important because of the battering effect or the vibrations given by the locomotive. If no proper lateral strength is provided, obviously the derailment or what we say the jerks are going to be occur. So that alignment has to be maintained with a side thrust for the tangent, that is to avoid the centrifugal or to resist the centrifugal forces, especially on the curves. Next is the lateral forces due to the expansion of a rails, particularly in case of welded rails. Hence the track system should have enough lateral strength to resist these type of loading conditions or the forces. So apart from this, the ideal permanent way should also possess the following. The next is the radii and super elevation and the curve should be properly designed and should be well maintained. So whatever the radius we are going to be providing, it should have some design speed and there should not be any obstruction for that one. So depending upon the design speed and the radius, the super elevation has to be designed so that it should have a smooth and also it should not give any jerk. So this is the main thing when we this concept we are going to be taken with respect to design of super elevation, then we are going to discuss a little bit more. Next is the drainage system must be a perfect one. So whenever we are going to be come across with drainage, whatever the water it is going to be accumulated on the track sheet or the embankment, it should be immediately drained out so that it should not deteriorate or it should not destabilize the embankment or the total track system. If we are going to be having a joint, so that is with respect to points and crossing, so always, as we know, joints are the weakest point, hence it should be properly designed and the care should be taken in design and also with respect to maintenance. Similarly, apart from this, the ideal permanent way should also going to be come across with some of the troubles or the failures like a creep. It also should be having, say for example, if it is a creep phenomena, the precautionary measures has to be taken to prevent it. Similarly, the various components of a track are the permanent way. So as I explained in the previous slide, so it may be rails or fittings, ballast, sleepers. So they must satisfy all the fitting requirements and also whatever the component we are been lacking, it should be fulfilled. So either for the improvement or for the replacement. So whatever the thing we are been talking about this component, so it should be fully satisfy the fitting requirement and the component should have with respect to the improved or replacement concept. Next is there should be an adequate provision for easy renewal and replacement. So whatever the component we are being designed, so of a permanent way, say for example rails or fitting or the sleeper, it should be easily renewed and replaced. So all these are going to be give the requirement for ideal permanent way. So with this note, we are going to be end the today's session. So these are the references we had been made and also some web references with respect to the Wikipedia and Indian Railway. Thank you.